In this video, we will talk about how to find the angle between two vectors if they are not orthogonal. Actually, we have a formula for this. If theta is the angle between non-zero vectors a and b, let's say the vectors are like this, and this is theta, then the cosine of theta is given to be a dot b over the magnitudes, the product of the magnitudes a and b. Now, of course, this is the relation, but actually we are going to use the inverse of the cosine to find the measure of the angle between these two vectors. So let's see an example. So the question says find the angle theta between vectors u and v to the nearest tenth of a degree. Now, we have the vectors here, u is 6 to 2, v is minus 4 to 3. So we are going to write theta to be the inverse cosine of, we are going to write this expression substituting our vectors, the dot product of u and v, which is 6 to 2 dot, say, minus 4 to 3 over the magnitudes, the square root of 6 squared plus 2 squared times the square root of minus 4 squared plus 3 squared. So this is what we are going to calculate and use the inverse cosine to find the measure of the angle. So if we go on, we have inside the brackets, well, 6 times minus 4 is minus 24, plus 2 times 3 is 6, divided by, well, here 6 squared is 36, 2 squared is 4, so they add up to the square root of 40, times, here we have minus 4 squared to be 16, 3 squared to be 9, so they add up to the square root of 25. So, if we simplify further, we will have the inverse cosine of minus 24 plus 6 gives us minus 18, divided by, when you type root 40 times root 25 on your calculator, you get 10 root 10. So if you write this expression in the calculator with the inverse of cosine, what you get is 124.7 degrees when you write to the nearest 10. Let's see another example. So we have u to be 3 to 1 and v to be 3 to minus 3. And instead of writing everything inside this expression, you can just calculate u dot v separately and then calculate the magnitudes, and then you can substitute the values. Let's solve this question with this approach. So, first we are going to calculate u dot v, which is, let's substitute the vectors, 3 to 1 dot 3 to minus 3. So we have 3 times 3 to be 9, plus 1 times minus 3 to be minus 3. So it will be 9 minus 3, which is 6. On the other hand, the magnitude of u is the square root of 3 squared plus 1 squared, which will give me 9 as 3 squared plus 1 as 1 squared, which results in the root of 10. And the magnitude of v, on the other hand, is the square root of 3 squared plus minus 3 squared in brackets. So it will be the square root of 9 plus 9 minus 3 squared is also 9 equals square root of 18. Now, if we substitute all these values into the expression, we will get theta to be the inverse cosine of, let's substitute the values now. Well, u dot v is 6 divided by the product of magnitudes, which are root 10 times root 18. So when you write this expression along with the inverse of cosine into your calculator, what you're going to get is approximately 63.4 degrees to the nearest tenth. So this is how we find the angle between two vectors if they are not orthogonal. And for sure, if they are orthogonal, the angle is 90 degrees. Now is your turn. Here are two questions for you to solve to find the angle between them. Just a reminder that when you have the vectors as a linear combination of unit vectors, you can write the component forms as the coefficients of those vectors. As for v, it is -7 to -3. Okay, so solve these questions and enter your marks, your answers in the answer sheet.